They need a victory. And let's hop into Champion Select and see whether they can. Of course, LGD actually going to be banning away Lissandra here on the blue side, which I find... Oh, actually, no. It's going to be EDG on our blue side, of course. Things a little bit switched around, but it is going to be the Lissandra ban away from Wayless, which is so smart.
Absolutely. EDG haven't really played a lot of the Lissandra. It's not really a Koro champion. Pawn likes the flexibility of 18 gap closer, which we've come to learn.
He's only got one, and it doesn't work instantly, so that's just silly. Don't pick that up, Pawn.
The Rumble ban against Flame, because this is what the world's come to.
And Clearlove actually going to have his Nunu banned away here as well. I mean, I think that LGD sort of knew how to deal with that type of comp, but they're really focusing him this time. The Rek'Sai ban as well. 2
jungle bans against Clearlove. Clearlove could also always default to the Hecarim. Maybe the Hecarim pick up for a little bit less jungle pressure early, but then the big tanky pressure later in the game. You know what I'd like to see, though, is what they played twice against LGD last time. The Ahri ban comes through against Wayless to remove that as a potential 5th pick. But I'd love to see the return of the Lee Sin. Clearlove's actually 5-0 on Lee Sin, despite the fact you don't necessarily consider it one of his core champions. It's not usually about the skill shots as Clearlove, as you could tell from the Nunu. But it's been very effective, and it should be potentially considered. But look who's available. It's Lulu.
Oh my goodness. And EDG looking to try and build the Juggernaut team comp, and we'll see what LGD do to try and counter it. Do they pick away a whole lot of the necessary champions? BYL is going to be able to pick up the Annie here. Was banned in the last series. But Hecarim now a potential option for Flame, and either Hecarim or Aurelia, they feel like Flame-type champions.
I really like Hecarim against Juggernaut. That's one of the few things we haven't seen explored, but just the ability to get in there and just the terrify that comes through after the the onslaught of shadows is so good at closing down these really positioning-focused enemy team comps. Gonna go with the Aurelia, much more of a reliable choice, works better in a 1v2. But EDG, they've pretty much got the go button the moment they locked in the Lulu to go for the Juggernaut. And we haven't seen it for a long time, but maybe it'll be the Lee Sin.
Yeah, we'll see whether it's going to be Clearlove's Lee Sin, but we'll also see whether they decide to lock down the other options here that you do get when you need to build these Juggernaut team comps. And of course, Jarvan, decent option here, was actually used by Gamty earlier on, but Pawn switching around the junglers here, and it is going to be Lee Sin in the end.
I mean, there's incidental nerfs to his armor. I believe the 10 less armor at level 1, no armor coming through from the flag means that Jarvan's just that much more brittle in the jungle. He's still a great ganking jungler, still can be used to great effectiveness, but Lee Sin completely untouched in the 5.4 patch. Weird to see him not pick it for himself, but Lee Sin is the locker.
It is quite interesting, but you know, maybe just trying to confuse everyone.
Success.
Yeah, it's worked. I'm definitely confused. But on the other side, LGD actually thinking about a potential Caitlyn pickup here for him.
I feel like Caitlyn's been severely underplayed in the LPL. The last Caitlyn I remember was Uzi getting about a 40 CS lead in a 2v2 lane, just straight up denying with Caitlyn. Caitlyn's lane dominance is a sight to behold, and of course is excellent in the late game. And even in the mid game, if you're able to rotate, also has a wonderful matchup against Kog'Maw. And you know, this comp was screaming Kog'Maw. You knew it was coming out. There was no way to pick it away. There's no way to fit Kog'Maw into a more standard comp. But I mean, no reason to see Kog'Maw taken here. Corki is available. They could modify. They haven't necessarily pigeonholed themselves. They could pick up a bit of damage and go for a more of a mid-game comp. But nope, it's going to be the Kog'Maw. It's going to be protect Kog'Maw. And basically, it's all about depth.
Yep, it's protect the Kog'Maw. But now they have the Whimsy. Now they have that wild growth from this Lulu in order to make this one work. And it's going to be Pawn on Lulu here this time. And does that mean that sort of they're missing that playmaking potential in the mid lane?
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, you look at this comp, there's not actually a lot of peel for... There's a lot of peel for Deft, but there's not a lot of shield. It's not necessarily going to be Deft being able to freely stand at the front of a fight because they've got Leona as their support, who's more looking for the AoE engage. They've got Lulu for the supportive factors, but Lulu's the only one to really amplify Deft in a fight. There's plenty of peel coming through potentially from Clearlove on the Lee Sin, from all the tankiness of Koro on this Maokai, but Lulu mid. I mean, that's definitely not what we expect from Pawn. Maybe he can play it confidently and try and drive home an advantage over Victor, but
maybe it's Lee Sin mid, and they're going Maokai jungle.
The dream.
And that is why Clearlove picked the Leona.
I don't think so.
No, neither do I, but a man can dream. Of course, I have memories of Froggen's mid lane Lee Sin that was just so much fun to watch.
I find it so interesting to see teams go so close to the Juggernaut, then not pick the Janna. Janna goes through picks and bans. They looked at their previous game, they were like, all right, we had no engage that game. Let's do something different. You don't give up the Janna if you're going full Juggernaut. You still have potential engage coming through from Clearlove on the least, and you still have at least a single target engage coming out from Maokai. This Kog'Maw is at risk if he's playing at the front of a fight. That's the core tenet of a Juggernaut comp, is Kog'Maw fighting from Reckless Abandon at the front of a fight and then having all the utility shields, the wild growth, etc. to fight from the front. This Kog'Maw still has to be very wary if he does that.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess this is still Deft, sort of the leader when it comes to teamfight positioning. Now that Name's back, you have to think that both of them are going to be fighting for that spot. But of course, his teamfight positioning has always been fantastic. Maybe they just want to utilize that and figure that maybe they just don't have to put him at the front.
You have to mention is also the Caitlyn versus Kog'Maw laning matchup. EDG desperately want a lane swap. They do not want to opt into a 2v2 Kog'Maw versus Caitlyn. It's a very bad matchup for Kog'Maw. Even with the Bioarcane Barrage at early levels, he can only start to match Caitlyn's range. Not fun for the little void creature.
Yeah, it's not fun, but let's get into the Rift and see whether it is. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, with EDG taking on LGD for our second match in this series, of our third series of the evening. And we'll see whether Deft is going to have fun as we hop onto the Rift. And looks like, you know, he's bouncing around as an oven. He's looking like he's okay.
Didn't feel like he had fun for at least the first 40 minutes of that previous series, getting assassinated repeatedly by Syndra. The one time he lived through at full health, he was like, finally, I can auto-attack. You look at this LGD comp, they don't have a lot of hard initiate outside of TBQ and Flame. They definitely have the follow-up AoE damage from Wayless, who's gone the Ghost Flash route, is really looking to have mobility as well. I mean, I tell a lie, they got PYL and Annie, so there is a lot of hard engage coming out against the Kog'Maw, and only really the Wild Growth for... Wild Growth and the shield coming through from Lulu as defensive utility options. So he's going to have to be very careful with his position. He's probably not going to be super aggressive, like I mentioned, with only the Wild Growth coming through. No Janna disengage as a support. In fact, an engaged support. So the way they play out these team fights doesn't really shout out to me in terms of the team comp they've picked, EDG, but it's definitely all about the Kog'Maw.
Oh, yeah. On the side of LGD, though, one thing I really, really like is PYL's Annie. If he manages to get a Tibbers on an entire team, that gravity field coming through from Wayless, teamed up with the Death Ray as well, is so much AoE damage. Plus the Chaos Storm, of course, as well. That is just ridiculous wombo.
Yeah, I mean, it takes that setup, though, of course. I believe the arm is slightly longer than the arm time is slightly longer than the duration of the Annie stun. I believe maybe at later levels, there'll be enough to chain up that CC and have it really be the Wombo CC you mentioned. But EDG have gone very aggressive looking for the invade. They should successfully get the lane swap they're looking for. Yeah, they're going to pick that one up. Of course, 4 members around this red buff. This is what happened last time, and we again have another red steal on the other side. TBQ going to be able to lock that one away. Not as quickly, of course, as Clearlove's able to, as he gets that red buff down to 1 health. Clearlove now just hanging out with Corey here as well, and you can see there's just so much vision available for EDG as Wayless actually looking to try and cause some funny business here, but doesn't throw a Death Ray in there. The vertical jungling really is a massive early advantage to EDG. We already mentioned they did not want to opt into the 2v2 against Caitlyn Annie with this Kog'Maw Leona combo. Kog'Maw Leona, not that much synergy in lane as well, of course. Only really burst damage available at level 6 when the Living Artillery is finally skilled for death. So in the early phase, Kog'Maw's going to try and control this lane, and we might see Mako freed up to do a bit of roaming. Yeah. And of course, you only need level 2, as Sync Dream has taught us, to be a decent roaming Leona. But don't talk to Sync Dream about Sona builds. Yeah, let's not do that at all. He didn't even finish the Iceborne Gauntlet, and I'm still mad at him for that. Def going to throw out that Bioarcane Barrage. Now, Annie is here to relieve pressure, but that's a lot. That's 4 members strong. Yeah, the exhaust is already down here onto Flame, who's just gone aggressive onto Malco. First blood here for Flame in the top lane, and that is what happens when you challenge the god. Yeah, you challenge Lord Flame. You give away first blood. Mako far too aggressive in his position. Dies with flash up. Flame did try and flash to get out of the damage from Def, but the auto attack follows him. Able to teleport back into lane. Advantage, though, goes to LGD. Yeah, and Clearlove does get a buff refresh there as well, I believe. Actually, no. Was it Def that actually picked it up? No double buffs actually went over, of course.
That is my bad. I thought that there was double buffs exchanged, but didn't actually happen. Wayless, though, he's going to get Flash Twisted advanced here as well. As Clearlove, he comes over the wall, flashes after Wayless. Red buff easily slows him down enough, and EDG, their guns are blazing this game.
And now suddenly I want to see Jungle Nidalee come out of Clearlove because his skill shots have been on point.
Oh, beautiful.
The Q combo picked up that kill, and then the counter flash. Clearlove's impacting so many lanes. Now he breaks the freeze in bottom lane. Clearlove just overtook this game, and against LGD, he loves that Lee Sin. 100% win rate against him, 2-0. Both times picked up the Lee Sin. He returns to the well this time.
Yeah, and that was Imp just getting a little bit annoyed at the fact that there was a Lee Sin in his lane. Not really reacting too much there at all, just knowing that he can sit back, auto-attack from range. Already has an 8 CS advantage here just because of all the funny business that went on here in this top side. But Flame now trying to see if he can break some sort of freeze, but he's in a lot of trouble. No summoner spells and only a Ruby Crystal to help keep himself alive, but he's getting experience.
He's able to sap experience like you mentioned, so that's definitely a little win. Doesn't have the ranged wave clear that Maokai has, but 12 CS to 3 CS, he's definitely got the advantage in terms of pure CS numbers, as I believe it's only now that Koro is going to be re-entering lane.
Yeah, Clearlove actually heading down to his Krugs here as the pink ward is placed from PYL. Doesn't actually want to go and find Clearlove, where I think he could actually get a fair bit of work done, of course, having that stun ready, but knows that Koro's waiting in the wings, so doesn't really want to start anything off.
Clearlove actually pathed over that pink, did see it, so is able to counter the pink. PYL waited so long just to get that aggressive pink, and it's answered by Clearlove instantly. That's actually a big strategic thing, because those wards can potentially last so long when they're so aggressively placed.
Yeah, Pawn just going to shield himself up here in the mid lane, but yeah, you're right. I mean, PYL wasting a fair bit of time there as well. I mean, of course, probably wants to allow Imp just to get levels here in this bottom lane, get all of that wave clear from the Piltover Peacemaker built up with all of the extra levels that he's going to be putting into that one. But not able to use this Caitlyn for sort of lane harasses. Flame is actually in a fair bit of trouble, but TBQ is around the side. Flame just going to back away. The shield to come through here from TBQ from that passive, so he's going to be more than fine. Clearlove going to find another pink ward. Clearlove's just the destroyer of pink wards at this stage of the game.
Clearing out a lot of vision. You'll notice he actually backed with 960 gold, and I thought, is this going to be the Sidestone Rush? But no, he's focusing on combat stats. He wants early dueling power, maybe to try and make up for the fact that Pawn probably not going to be able to get into the enemy jungle and get assassination kills, but we might see another turret die.
Oh, yet again, Mirko actually wanting to demonstrate that he cannot die to Flame this time, and Clearlove easily picks up the kill. Is it going to be a double after the tower dive? It is, and Mirko, look at that. That was just beautiful.
And that was a 5-man rotation. Pawn actually made it to top side, was able to clear the wave with the Glitter Lance, make it to top side to help. This time, Mako very much on point with the turret aggro juggling, able to hold onto that turret. Caitlyn eventually pushes in bottom, but Koro was getting denied, able to teleport, pick up his 4th assist, 100% kill participation for the top laner with his roams. And in the mid lane, Clearlove, he's in position.
Yeah, and Wayless is in a lot of trouble, but PYL comes around. That's a beautiful gravity field to try and save Wayless, but he's heading the wrong direction. There's going to be the whimsy here, and Wayless trying to turn it around, but it's not going to happen as level 6 was found here from Pawn, and EDG just taking complete control this time.
Clearlove's Lee Sin. He does not play this champion often. It's been a few weeks since he brought it out, but you can see why he's 100% with this champion. 100% kill participation. Maybe he'd like to give some of the gold to his teammates at the moment. 3-0-2, but
not.
It's going to be a very early warrior enchantment into boots. Potentially going to be the Sidestone next, taking over the game before TBQ can really impact any lanes.
Well, that's the thing, and of course, TBQ's still only level 5. Vi only really getting going once that Assault and Battery is available, and you have to hit a Vault Breaker to be at all useful in a fight, and he's just been dived repeatedly, and now EDG, they're looking to take down Imp.
Yeah, the diving doesn't look like it's going to stop.
Yeah, there's the Zenith Blade to land as well. So much CC, and Clearlove just says, just throw a few auto attacks there. I need another kill.
Yeah, that time, Deft was actually the one tanking the turret. Does it masterfully. And Koro in the top lane, he's the one that's been held down. But with the kill participation, actually almost even in gold. Only 100 gold behind Flame, despite the CS discrepancy. And EDG navigating the map masterfully, all on the back of this amazing Clearlove Lee Sin.
Absolutely incredible. 1,100 gold already in the lead of his opponent now, as we've got Koro just freezing out this top lane. And think about it as well, just the timing of Clearlove's ganks here. The size of the minion waves dying to no one under these outer turrets in the top and bottom lanes just was so beautiful. And not enough can be said about how Clearlove's been playing this early game.
Even just the jungle pathing, to have 6 kill involvements in the first 8 minutes of the game is already just wonderful pathing, reminiscent of when Kakao was really in form for the KT Arrows during their title-winning season, and Clearlove just playing masterfully. Look at this first buy. Warrior Enchant and a Sightstone. He doesn't have any mobility, but given his previous jungle pathing, someone's going to die soon.
Yeah, and he finished off the Brutalizer, completed the enchantment, and bought a complete Sightstone. That is just insane. And also has a pink ward in order to clear this one out. He's going to take the Gromp down, and man, Clearlove just playing so well. Pawn going to be able to clear out this wave yet again. Wayless unable to really show too much on this Victor so far. Has decided to go for that Death Ray augmentation.
Now Mako's close to level 6. Now we returned finally to the 2v2 matchup in the bottom lane. Deft, despite the fact that he's very close to his Trinity Force, definitely doesn't have a real chance to lane against Caitlyn until we see the completion. But in the top lane, it's turret dive time.
Yeah, turret dive time yet again as Flame just going to get kicked out of the safety of his turret. Koro is going to get wild growth. I don't think he was quite going to die.
I think he would have.
You think he would?
It was like 10, 20 HP. It was too close. Had to use the wild growth.
Yeah, didn't want to calculate that one, but again, just looking too easy as far as his top lane is concerned. And Flame probably just asking himself, like, why? Why can't this turret just die already so that I can get some farm?
Oh boy, Mako actually missed the Zenith Blade.
Yeah, Mako missed, but PYL didn't. Finds the Tibbers here as well. As Mako actually going to tank up that ace in the hole. Wayless, though, tanking the turret. He is going to die. And that is going to be a couple of kills picked up. Now, Cathian Surprise going to get a little bit of damage down here as well. But EDG, a bit of a colossal failure there on the bottom side.
In the top side, we see Koro and Clearlove doing a lot of damage to this inner turret. They don't have a minion wave yet. They're going to proxy the next wave coming through. Inner turret for Dragon will be a great trade for EDG. But Flames Respawn doesn't have teleport. They're just trying to harangue EDG's top laner jungle away from taking this inner turret.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Pawn just going to easily take down a turret. I think everyone's sort of forgotten that Pawn has been hanging out in this game as well. And 0-0-2, 85 CS actually continuing to gain a lead there as POL is going to secure the Dragon. But inner turret to fall down, plus the outer turret in the mid lane here as well. That's 3 turrets dead on the side of EDG for a Dragon. Is that worth it?
It's definitely not worth it, Atlas. You didn't have to ask me that. I know you were making a point, but the point I want to make, 0-0-2 is Pawn's score. That does not in any way reflect that he's been passively farming in the mid. He's been pushing up the mid lane and roaming, and he's always been in position to put out a wild growth. He isn't even getting kill score involvements, but because he has such a superior wave clear advantage to Wayless, who's now died 3 times, despite the fact Wayless has Ghost, and we've seen, of course, Dade, famous for ghosting between lanes to be in position for counter ganks or position for ganks. The map pressure difference between Pawn and Wayless not reflected in the scoreboard, but just an implied involvement in at least 5 or 6 of these kills from Pawn, as he's been able to push up, roam, and do so much for his team.
Yeah, create inherent pressure. But of course, LGD still missing the fact that he was wailing on their outer turret. PYL now in a bit of trouble here as Clearlove just massive amount of levels and experience, just everything.
This has so many items.
Yeah, normally, you know, you see a Lee Sin go that aggressive against 2 people.
Look at the 2 members. It's a Warrior Enchant against the Ninja Tabi Sightstone Warrior Enchant.
Yeah, just ridiculous. And Imp, I mean, he's gone for this Berserker's Greaves and the BF Sword. He's got a turret-killing build right now, and he's unable to get to any turrets.
I mean, there's just been no waves in the right spot. Finally, Flame gets a massive wave in the top lane. Koro might actually teleport up there to meet it. If he doesn't, you know that more turret dives are on the menu.
On the agenda, most definitely. Deft just waiting until that turret lets itself die, making sure as many of these creeps are going to fall down as possible. And make it so that LGD can't perform too much of a hard freeze here on this bottom side. Pawn just going to clear out this wave. That was pretty satisfying.
Doesn't even need teleport when Whimsy gives you so much movement speed. Clearlove has been everywhere. Doesn't have 100% kill involvement anymore. Probably feels a bit salty about that.
Yeah. Oh, Solar Flare into Wayless. There's the Zenith Blade. Miko making it easy here.
And Wayless hadn't died in a while.
No, he hadn't. You know, you got to give him that 4th. Beautiful times, of course. Picked up a couple of assists as well, so may have actually reset that that kill gold.
Yeah, and Pawn able to push so aggressively. The fast push strategy from EDG. They're fast pushing against a Caitlyn with a Kog'Maw. It doesn't even make sense, but it's oh so effective.
Yeah, and when you've got a Lee Sin this strong at this stage of the game, I mean, that's how it makes sense, right?
I mean, 4-0-4. Clearlove has been everywhere on the map. And the Kogumo's got Trinity Force is ready to siege. The power spikes everywhere apart from Koro, doing just fine. And Koro, I mean, valiantly 2-0-4, not doing bad himself. And
the kickback from Imp there as well as Clearlove. He can follow that Sonic Wave if he wants, but finally gives a kill over to Def. 2, in fact, as TBQ's going to fall down. And it's not over yet. PYL now getting caught out. That was incredible. That Sonic Wave was out of control. Gravity Field going to stop anything further from coming through, but this is the Clearlove show.
I mean, Clearlove has taken over this game like no other in the LPL this season, all the way across the map. The MVP points already sewn up in the first 14 minutes. 5-0 and 6. They're going to take potential in a turret. Victor has wave clear, but no health. And EDG, they're just turning on the style.
It's just incredible. And, you know, Def picks up a Trinity Force, then grabs himself a double kill. No worries. Whale's going to take a fair bit of damage here from that sapling as well as he comes to try and clear out that wave. But
you can't even be an LGD apologist. You could say, all right, you know, they lost the first game in really Titanic style. They were depressed and they just didn't have it for the second game. It's TBQ. Gonna face check Mako and be dead.
Yeah, he is most definitely dead.
But they've been absolutely outplayed by Clearlove. This is completely Clearlove winning every lane and the jungle and the pressure advantage. And LGD, they haven't even really put many foots wrong. They've just been completely outplayed by this Lee Sin.
Yeah, and I mean, next time Clearlove asks for a weekend off, make sure you give it to him, EDG, because it looks like when he comes back, he has just gotten incredibly good at everything he's done. I mean, his Nunu last game was fantastic too.
And now, you know, if we ever do see EDG versus Snake again, the first time those two teams met, one of the storylines we had going into EDG versus Snake Game 2 was just how much Clearlove was out-jungled by Beast that series. Now they don't show Clearlove against Beast. The next time those two teams meet, there's another unknown for Snake to kind of unpack. And LGD, they know all about Clearlove. He was on point and kept Imp down in the previous series in week 2. And it's just been majestic.
Absolutely. Majestic is the perfect word to describe what he's been doing. Now with a 10,000, close to a 10,000 gold lead at 16 minutes into this game. EDG, this is a complete opposite showing to what we saw at about this stage. Of course, LGD just had so much power across the map. And I mean, I think it was probably a little bit after this. I think the game was a lot closer at this stage, but LGD managed to get quite a lead, but it's not looking like it's going to be anything like that this game.
No, I mean, the leads just cost the champions. Just massive. I mean, you just look at some of the builds that have been completed. Just one augment completed for Victor and an Amp Tome against Merlinomicon and throw in a lazy, needlessly large rod.
Yeah, casual, needlessly large rod.
For Lulu. 5-1-4, working towards the Blade of the Ruin King as Kog'Maw with the Trinity Force already completed compared to still 1,000 gold away from Infinity Edge as Imp. I mean, the builds are just night and day across the road, and LGD just have no control of the map whatsoever, and that's completely due to the rotational play from EDG, and quite simply the play of Lee Sin.
Yeah, and Clearlove, the fact that he picked up his Sightstone so incredibly early, but with it, managed to get power in his Warrior enchantment at the same time.
The Sightstone got him more options to kill people.
Yeah, it's exactly right. As Deft is going to find TBQ here as well, he's going to have to slink back to base. You've got a bit of a rotation coming through on the top side of the map here from LGD, looking to try and get some pressure down onto Koro, who's getting back-pinged incredibly powerfully. PWL actually going to find the W stun, but after the flash, Koro is going to be more than fine. And EDG, they say, okay, if everyone's going to go top, let's just take a dragon.
You're giving them 6% AD and AP, a scary proposition for LGD, given how much damage they were already doing. They'll continue to rotate to the bottom lane. TBQ will be there to answer the push very shortly. Not sure if EDG will be able to get this outer turret. I believe the last of the outer turrets available on the map at 17 minutes. And Deft's not really respecting the Assault and Battery.
Yeah, he's just walking underneath that turret, of course. The shield coming through from Pawn. Pretty strong at this stage now with that needlessly large rod.
All outer turrets down before 18 minutes.
Yeah. Needlessly large wallet seems to be what Clearlove's managed to pick up here, as well as just so much gold on this EDG lineup.
And no turrets at all down for LGD. Remember, this is with
a Caitlyn.
With a Caitlyn.
Just silly. Only has the pieces here of this Infinity Edge, but still needs to pick up crit after that. And we've spoken about Caitlyn's before. I mean, she has a huge trough towards the mid game, and theoretically so should Kog'Maw, but not when he picks up 2 items by 18 minutes.
I mean, she has a team fighting trough, but definitely her sieging trough doesn't
really happen.
Can put down the turret, so safe with the 90 caliber net. But in this case, where teamfights are just a dream for LGD, they're so far away from ever being able to stand up in a teamfight. Even if they get a pick on one of the members of EDG, there's so much power across the board, there's not really much they can do to look to fight. The teamfighting build looks so far away. Still a couple of 100 gold for the first item, Infinity Edge, as Deft just piles on the damage.
Yeah, Deft picking up an extra dagger here now. Going towards that Blade of the Ruin King yet again. Seems to be his decision here on this Kog'Maw, of course. Does synergize quite nicely with the Bio-Arcane Barrage.
Still dealing with Aurelion Vi, so having a bit of self-peel is a happy place to be as the Kog'Maw.
Yeah, it's a bit more of a Juggernaut type comp with the Wild Growth available, with the Whimsy there as well for an extra bit of movement speed. But of course, you still just want it.
And with no outer turrets down at all, you have to feel like the 20-minute Baron, a risk, but a very potential risk coming through for EDG.
Not to mention the fact that we're talking about % health damage. I mean, you've got Kog'Maw there. And Koro, I mean, even though he's a tanky Maokai, that Twisted Advance does work on Baron.
They have a lot of percentage damage coming through. As you mentioned, I mean, Clear Love's no slouch on the damage whatsoever. They have the execute damage coming through from the Resonating Strike. And LGD, we're safe on the map. Their own base, 18 minutes into the game, 19 minutes into the game. No map pressure coming out whatsoever, barring the minion wave slowly pushing out. Where's the safe place to farm? That's the issue in these games. They almost want EDG to break the base just so they have super minions they can kill.
Yeah, and look at this from EDG as well. I mean, you saw it was only 5 minutes ago that they had the whole bottom side of the LGD jungle lit up. Now it's the top side of the map. You can see, I mean, LGD, they are positioning together. Pawn is actually going to get Assault and Batteried here as well. There's the Flash Tibbers, but Pawn just runs around. Wild Growth on himself here as well. There's the Glitterlance to slow down TBQ. Solar Flare doesn't quite find anyone, and that's a beautiful zoning gravity field as EDG are going to be forced to back away. Deft, though, playing so far forward. This isn't the end here as Clearlove just launches himself into the back line. And I think that he may have got a little bit overexcited.
The Lee Syndrome came 20 minutes into the game for Clearlove, but at 5-0-6 at the time, now 5-1-6, you can kind of understand his confidence. They peeled off the Baron, so you have to say Assault and Battery traded for Pawn's Flash and Ultimate, Cleanse as well. Actually a big win for LGD to arrest what would have been a very fast Baron coming through. They jumped to the defensive Pawn, but it leads to Clearlove's death. And finally, they're able to get a bit of map pressure.
Yeah, finally able to secure some form of vision. Don't actually have any wards on that Baron just yet, so EDG do have an opportunity to head back over there, but you can see they've got a couple of wards just outside of their base, but you can see how LGD are playing. They're playing with vision sitting around their own base, and that's about it. They know that they've been shut out of this game.
I mean, 1,200 gold advantage in top, 2,600 gold in the jungle, 1,700 gold in mid, 3,000 or 2,500 gold advantage at AD carry. Even 1,000 gold just from global gold coming through from Mako over PYL. Everyone has an item or more advantage for EDG. They don't quite have the Blade of the Ruin King. That'll be a very big pickup, as you mentioned, even for Baron damage. So want to get that onto Kog'Maw as fast as possible, but they're just so far ahead. And you can see Wayless, he was forced into a Haunting Guise just for a bit of power.
Yeah, he just wants to be able to get something here. As Piltover Peacemaker going to do some work on a Clearlove as he just tries to safeguard his way around. As Nico actually turning this one around. Imp just gets destroyed as Deft has so much damage. The Chaos Storm. Deft is ignoring it as Flame just trying to Transcendent Blades his way through. Deft shields for days and he's going to be fine. Krug, sorry, almost killing Flame here at the same time as Koro so fast on this Maokai. There's the flash into the Twisted Advance. But he may not have too many friends quite incoming just yet. He's just not really that worried about it as he may just get sped up one more time. There's another Twisted Advance and Pawn picks up an easy kill after Koro sort of held onto it for quite some time.
The Twisted Advance actually took him through the gravity field. Being untargetable for the half second or so cast time actually got him out of potentially being stunned. Very nice mechanics coming through from Koro, but bought time for Pawn to rotate. EDG doing everything right.
Yeah, it's also a 3-0-8 Maokai as well, which can't be understated. Does have a CS advantage over an Aurelia here at the same time, who's going to get slowed down here in complete vision of the EDG lineup. And now just EDG looking to figure out where to make a move next.
I mean, anywhere is an option. They have this a big minion wave pushing in the bottom lane. About 3 or 4 minion waves pushing that Victor's going to be able to clear up. Victor still looking for that first item. He's going to has the Haunting Guise as emergency pickup. It's going to be a second dragon, but that's not big for EDG. They want big advantages, and they're not getting them just yet, being kept out of the Baron.
Yeah, a little bit of a turtle play coming through from LGD, which is working out. A few extended wards coming through from PYL as TBQ is going to find Deft, but it was more Deft finding TBQ. Assault and Battery was used, but this Kog'Maw's so strong.
But we have Annie coming for the turret dive.
Yeah, there's actually the flash coming through. PYL very intelligently going to use that Q to get the stun, and a Cathian surprise might find him here. Glitterlance secures it for Deft. Beautifully played there by Pawn, and you're exactly right. Pawn's just everywhere he needs to be.
Pawn, his map movement has been wonderful this game. Again, 1-0-5 in an 18-kill game. Looks like he's just kind of been clearing waves happily, and he's done that, but it's the roaming plays that have been so impressive for him. Not reflected in the score, as we mentioned earlier. Imp sitting on the Infinity Edge, still 0 turrets, importantly, for LGD. No global gold whatsoever against a mountain of global gold for EDG as they are going to happily push and, I don't know, wait for an advantage.
Yeah, we'll see what actually happens after this one, of course. We do have a Cloak of Agility picked up, as well as the Blade of the Ruined King now for Deft, who's just incredibly strong. We'll see whether that is going to be into an Infinity Edge or a Phantom Dancer. Of course, attack speed's so powerful on Kog'Maw, especially when you build that Blade of the Ruined King earlier on. We'll see what he decides to build up. Going to take away this red buff very quickly.
Wayless was choosing between a few item builds, turned the Amp Tome into the Merlinomicon, then second-guessed himself, went towards the Void Staff, realized not that much magic resist actually completed just yet for EDG, so settles on the Merlinomicon. Actually knows the Void Staff.
He's just switching over a lot.
I mean, it'll help him get through Koro potentially, but the consistent damage in fights, that's what we said about the Victor players, that when Victor is able... Oh, wait, so we see the Flash engage.
Yeah, the Flash Soul Flare to come through there does stop the Vault Breaker, but TBQ is going to be okay. A little bit embarrassing to come through for him.
But it's the multiple spell rotations for Victor that Sin is kind of returned to prominence as a pick, not kind of pigeonholed as a AoE damage dealer. TBQ!
Oh, that was blind. That is incredible.
That's
EDG just knew exactly what was going on.
You don't need to hold down Lee Sin. What? He's blind.
Oh, yeah. No, I apologize. Oh, Deft actually going to soak the Chaos Storm, but not sure whether it actually did any damage. There was a bit of tickling going on, but that's about it. Mako is actually out of mana almost completely. And the Ghost is being popped here from Wayless. Everything actually blown from the mid laner of LGD. And EDG just going to take that as a sign to start Baron. There's a huge minion wave in that top side of the map, crashing on the inhibitor turret. LGD have to make a move now or lose the Baron. Tibbers is in there just causing a ruckus, and Transcendent Blade's trying to come through. Kalilov taking a lot of damage. Mako as well taking a lot, but look at these shields, and Imp is dead. Beautiful play from EDG, and it's all on Pawn. I mean, he's just able to use all of his shields, his wild growth, saving his whole team, and they just tear apart 3 members of LGD.
And that was with EDG getting so chunked out, so low health bars across. Kalilov below half health, Mako's low in health. Now TBQ, he's probably going to die.
Yeah, he is dead. Pawn picks up that kill with the help of Deft there at the same time. Mako just goes down to Baron. A soldier's death, a hero's death. As Kalilov is going to lock that one down. And EDG now with minion waves full of massive Baroned up creeps going to be able to head towards these inhibitor turrets.
And I was just going to say about the Void stuff, obviously a lot of bursts coming through from the Chaos Storm, but without the CDR, they're going to have a lot of trouble DPSing down these super minions. Still very early in the game. Still no Zeal item completed on Imp, barring just the Zeal itself. The blue buff gets stolen away, the Baron's complete. I mean, realistically, LGD could have surrendered at 20 minutes and it probably would have been the same result. I feel like EDG will win this game eventually, but credit to them keeping the series. They want to see if there's any chance that they can eke out a result, but I just don't know where it's going to come from. With the item builds they've been kind of forced into compared to the embarrassment of riches on EDG's side.
Yeah, it's true. And as we just hover over, the Mejai's pick up here from Pawn has had it a little while, does have 10 stacks on it already.
692 AP at 27 minutes.
Yeah, not bad.
My maths says that's a lot.
Yeah, I don't think you even need maths. You can just see that that's a big item. And that's a big number. Probably not a big item because it's actually just a number. But ladies and gentlemen, my brain is actually just exploding due to just how strong EDG are this game. Look at the whimsy Kog'Maw launching himself in. PYL just gets eliminated. There's the Assault and Battery, but the Wild Growth to follow up here as well, as Deft is just going insane. So many auto attacks. Imp just dies sort of as a byproduct of that fight. Flame now forced to flash out. You can see Deft people were attacking his friends, and he got super mad about it, Papa Smithy.
And he's running around. He doesn't have any cares in the world. Picks up Whalers, gonna turret dive.
That is going to be the surrender vote coming through from LGD, though, and EDG put on a clinic in that game.
I mean, EDG, 4 games against LGD, 4 victories, convincing winners over the 4th place to LGD. First game, it was close. It looked like LGD would clear it out and come into this game 1-0. And then just the unthinkable happened, and LGD just let it all go away at the last minute. In this game, Clearlove decided, yep, we're going to win this game. Basically decided it in the first 6 minutes. And EDG power through LGD.
Yeah, just what more can you say? I mean, you have to think that maybe the first game played on the minds of LGD. They were potentially not happy with how that worked out, and it sort of eked over into the next game. But Clearlove played so incredibly well that I don't even think you can make that argument. He was just so perfect with everything he was doing in the early stages of that game, and then sort of Pawn carrying through to that late game, providing an incredible Lulu to augment this Kog'Maw. Just beautiful to watch.
And look, if you want to tell me that after the early laning phase, when Clearlove had already had 6-7 kill involvements, LGD after the first game didn't really have it in them to play it out, absolutely, I'll take that argument. But that was completely won in the early game by Clearlove with his excellent jungle pathing. Very impressive for him. We don't normally associate with him with strong ganking, strong early ganking, but he was everywhere. And EDG, they were always going to win that second game.
Yep, beautiful series by EDG, managing to take the 2-0. But ladies and gentlemen, there is still one more series tonight. Energy Pacemaker going to be taking on King right after this.